because you kind of just do it naturally as a kid, and then it's a skill you kind of lose and take for granted. I want to have my ghost moment. I see him all the time. Talk to me. I wish I was drunk. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, I am Yvette and I moved to the UK in May last year. So I'm coming up on 1 year and I'm just documenting my experience in London. Disclaimer, very top line, I have a really bad ulcer at the back of my tooth, and I also am dumb, and I managed to bite my tongue quite bad when I was in a restaurant last night, to the point where my mouth wouldn't stop bleeding and I was like filling up with blood, and it looked like a horror movie, which in the current climate for today with coronavirus was not great. So my tongue is super sensitive, and so I might slip up on my words a bit slash look weird when I'm talking, but I didn't want to not make a video even though I'm in a tiny bit of pain. But just wanted that disclaimer before I get a bunch of comments being like, are you drunk? I wish I was drunk. So for this video, I thought, because I did the video on dating in London, but something I have far more experience in is how to make friends when you move abroad, or even just as an adult. Because if you think about all the friends you have, they're either childhood friends, friends of friends, or workplace friends, and generally letting in a new person is really hard to a pre-existing group. So it takes a little bit of effort and a few different techniques to make friends as an adult, and it makes you sound so much like a Billy No Mates when you're like, can you just hang out and be my friend? But it is super important, particularly if you are moving somewhere on your own. So I'm fortunate because I've got Daniel, but I can't imagine how much more lonely this whole process would have been if I didn't have someone, support network in some way. So I have tried and tested all of these methods that I'm about to tell you, and I can tell you what level of success they have. My first tip of making friends is to live in a share house. This is great because you've got people in the same situation as you. You're forced to be around each other, so hopefully you get on, and then you can hang out more organically because you're around each other a bit more, and you have a reason to, you know, get to know each other. I unfortunately couldn't not do this. I could, but like when you're in a couple, I think it's always a bit weirder when you're in a share house. Like not everyone wants to live with a couple, which is fair play, but if you're a single person, it's so easy to get like a good group going that way. So yeah, share house, I wish I would be moving to a share house if I was on my own, for sure. The downside is you'll probably live with a lot of Australians and UK. You'd be living with a lot of Australians and New Zealanders. I want to say Norwegians then, maybe, who knows. Number 2 is get to know the local, which is the local pub or local cafe, because if you go to the same place regularly, have the same order, you can start building a bit of rapport with the barista, waitress, whoever, and if you have some genuine connection or genuine interest together, you can build a friendship off that. So if you're at a coffee place and you make friends with the barista, you can be like, oh, I know this great place in South London, you should come. Because obviously they like coffee because they're a barista, stuff like that, common interest. Number 3 is to go and volunteer. Volunteering is a good way to give back to the community. You get to know some more open-minded people who are more open to trying new things and getting out, and it's a good way to, once again, making friends is all about common knowledge, common experience, common ground. So I just like volunteering. It's just a good way to help people but also help yourself. It's like give and take. I did tree planting with that one. I didn't make any crazy good friends, but you never know unless you try. But I also did it with Daniel, so I probably would have made more friends had I not been with someone. Do you see what I mean? Sometimes having a partner is really annoying because it like prevents people, because they think, oh, they're with their partner, they don't want to talk to people. And I'm like, I see him all the time, talk to me. Number 4 is pick up some new hobbies. So I've done this one a lot just because I'm a nerd and I like learning. So you know, I do my Spanish class, so I've got friends in that I've now seen same time for 10 weeks. So it gives us common ground, you get to connect, you get a topic to talk about, because the whole thing is you don't want to walk up to someone and be like, hey, can I buy you a drink? Because it sounds like you're asking them out. So trying to make that like differentiation just like building that organic friendship, which is what it's all about, putting yourself out there. And the good thing is, if you do hobbies and things that you enjoy, you'll find people like yourself, like-minded people who share the same opinions and hobbies as you, and that's your common ground that I keep going on about. So I've done Spanish class, that's been really good. Also, you learn Spanish, it's pretty great. I also do a monthly book swap, so it's like a book club, which feel free to do a book club if you want. My book swap is like a sustainable alternative, so you, basically once a month, a bunch of girls get together, and guys sometimes, mostly girls, and you all bring a book or two or whatever you want, that goes into a big pile, and then you just take a book. So you bring a book and take a book or whatever it is, so that you don't just have a pile of books at your bookshelf that you never reread, and it also saves you money, so you get a new book without having to go spend money, and you also get to save the environment by not contributing to the pollution and cutting down of trees and all that jazz, which comes with books. That's been great. I've been doing that for a year, and I've got people's numbers from that who I should probably reach out to, because it's the follow through that I struggle with. But yes, I've got their numbers, I just need to message them. Anyway, what else have I done? I feel like I've done other things. I actually want to, feel free to recommend one, because I'm insane and I just like to do random things. One, I would like to do an art class, because I think that'd be a laugh, because I'm not artistic, but I'm here for a good time, so that's fine. So like a wine and watercolor type thing, that would be fun. Second thing, I would like to potentially do a pottery class, because I think pottery, I've always seen people doing it and it looks so fun with the spinny dial and the like shaping of it. It just looks so fun. So that's my next one. Then my next classes, I will be learning how to become a pottery, I don't know, what's the word? Clay artist? Whatever. I will be making some pots. And then the good thing is I'll probably have, if it depends how good I am, but I should have some things I can actually use. I did pottery once when I was in school and it did not go well. Yeah, that should be fun. My next tip is to utilize the friends you have. So if you've got anyone or you meet anyone, so say you go to a pottery class and you meet someone and you end up getting friends with them, that's good, you've got one friend, then they will have a party and you go to their party and you can chat to more people and make more friends. So you just need that in, you know, and then you can make friends of friends, and or like work friends. Work friends is a really good one. I haven't put that in because I don't have a workplace. I have a workplace, I shouldn't say that, I have a job, but I don't go to an office. So I don't have that same camaraderie and like that you get when you sit next to someone at a desk for years on end. I'm fairly solitary, so I don't have that thing. But work friends would be amazing. That'd be the best way to make friends if you could. I just can't. My last one is, I'm not too sure if people know much about this, but I know people use dating apps like, you know, you got Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, all that kind of stuff. There's one called Bumble, which you can use for dating, but you can also use for friends and also business, which I haven't tried. But I have used the friend one and it actually works really well. I've used it and Daniel's used it, and that's been our like into making more friends. So what you do, it's very similar to if you're dating. So you make a profile, you answer some questions. My ideal BF, it's called BumbleBFF. And so some of the question prompts are like, what's your special ability? My favorite BFF date would be. So if it was me, I'd be like a pottery class, or hiking, or a pottery class, or even just watching trashy Love Island on the sofa, or whatever, you know. But if there's someone who's like super doesn't like, you know, active things, or like loves to party, you know, so like my perfect BFF date is going out clubbing till the crack of dawn, which I would not swipe right on because that's not me. I'm a grandma and I would like to be in my bed, thank you. So you can really suss out what people are looking for. I've enjoyed that a lot. I've had a lot of success, and then you go out on a date with them basically, like as if normal, and you can go from there. So I have had, I think I've had like 5 Bumble dates. I'm pretty, like, I don't like wasting time obviously, so if I'm hesitant I won't go. But yeah, so it's quite good. One thing I really enjoyed about it was that, because I mentioned in my last video, Daniel and I have been together since before dating apps were a thing, which I know dates me, but also we were together very young. And also we knew each other first, like we were friends, so it's not like we had the dating app experience. Obviously in pop culture and like people make references to Tinder and, you know, swiping right and left, I've never had that experience. I could never like relate to it that much. So I can finally relate to like the jokes and references people make because I've done it with friends now, which is great. It's a good experience. On there, I find there's a mix of people in my situation who have moved to London and they're looking for friends. But there's also people who are from the UK and have moved to South. So they say from Leeds or York and they've moved to London for work and they need networks. So you've still got like UK based people. And then there's also a lot of Australians on there. But you also have people from Europe coming across. So it's up to you what you look for. I tend to preference the Brits. Nothing personal, and it's not a hard and fast rule, but I want to try and make some long-term friendships with people who are going to stay in the country. Because I don't want to I never swipe on an Aussie, because one, I have enough Aussie friends, and two, they're going to leave in 2 years, because that's what the visa they're on is. Everyone's on a youth mobility, so they'll be gone in a year. So I'm like, I don't want to invest all my time in someone who I know is going to leave and be back with all my other friends in Australia. So you can kind of like be a bit more specific. I also find that because it's friendship, it's a little less intense. Like, I feel like when you're dating, once again, I've not done it, but I feel like when you're dating, it's a lot more high stakes. You're like, I'm trying to find the one, you know? Whereas when you're just trying to find friends, like you can have more than one friend. You're not looking for like the one friend. So it's a little less risky. You can like go out on multiple dates and not feel bad and like all that kind of stuff. And your standards are probably a lot lower because like you don't have to live with them. So yeah. Those are all the steps I have taken to making friends in London. I found them to be quite successful. It's not easy making friends as an adult because you kind of just do it naturally as a kid, and then it's a skill you kind of lose and take for granted. But let me know if you have any other tips in the comments below. I'm always open to making more friends and trying new things. Tell me if you've done pottery, because I'm so into that. Recommend pottery classes to me because I want to do it. I want to have my ghost moment. Patrick Swayze, come at me. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and remember to hit subscribe so I can see you next time. Thanks so much for watching.